Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Clear Props, new 1/72. This is the Seasprite and it's the AB edition, so it's an early Seasprite. So we can see, haven't actually seen one of their kits before, made in Ukraine, so it'd be interesting to have a look in this one. So it's saying 72nd advanced and all the rest of it on the box, not too sure quite what that means, but anyway, there we go, nice little bit of box art on the front. Your different versions you're going to be doing down in here. So these are all sort of 60s, I do believe, aircraft. Crikey, that is so small. I think we're going to need magnifiers to be able to read that. Where are we? Yes, so we've got down in here one from January 68, and then obviously we've got one here from 67, and we've got one from 68 and another one from 65. Different versions down in here with that sort of unique sort of Seasprite colouring down here, but a couple of options as well for the more sort of search and rescue colours in the day glow. Okay, so that's quite nice. All right. The kit number for this one is CP72002. You can see a nice little bit of what's going on in there. Looks quite interesting. Overall dimensions, number of parts down in here as well. So it's 92, but you do get 68 photo-etched parts. So hopefully it'll be quite a nice little detailed kit. So if we just pop this over here, we've got a box within a box. Okay, opening up our little box, we have two bags. So we've got a little bit of photo-etch. Know where the rest is. Did I just misread that where it said about that? About the parts? Photo-etched part 68. Where are they then? Okay, we'll look for that in a moment, but first of all, let's have a look in the instructions. So, nice little colour instructions for these ones, as you can see. Doesn't look too bad at all. So we've got harnesses down for the seats. Obviously, they are going to be in photo-etch. And again, we've got various parts. So it looks like it's decals going on for making up your instrument panels. So we've got your cyclic, collective, things like that. Usual thing, rudder pedals all being fitted down into there. The main cabin area, so we've got the bulkheads being fitted down in the back, then into the rear cabin. We've got some seats going in, some nice little bits of detail down in there. So we've got some extinguishers and some things being fitted in. Again, more harnesses. So again, I'm assuming there's a big photo-etch sheet somewhere around in here. So we've got those being fitted down into the seats. And then obviously we've got another decals for the overhead instrument panel, front and rear interior cockpit bulkheads, or cabin I should say. And then some areas down in the bottom. Obviously it's got retractable gear, so that's the gear wells being fitted in there. A couple of holes to open up, 1mm diameter, which is fair enough. And then it's a case of bringing this together. So you've got 4-piece fuselage section on there. So you've got an underside, two sides, and obviously the roof with the cabin and cockpit areas being fitted into that one. Okay, and then we're working our way around the engine. So it looks like we've got some nice engines being fitted down in there. Two halves of the engines being fitted into this one, gear being fitted. Okay, and then we're fitting these on. So that sort of nacelle being fitted to the roof. Okay, tail being fitted onto it as well. Makes you wonder if it does have a folded tail. And then obviously we've got the coaming, which sort of for the mechanics going to the rear rotor. Glasswork being fitted, nose, various sections onto there like that. Okay, and then staying on the landscape mode. Okay, so you've got doors being fitted in there, the little stabilizer as well, and the restraint, a couple of little lights. Again, photo-etch parts going underneath for this particular one. And then onto the other side, so we've got doors, more photo-etch, little tiny parts as well for aerials and various tie-down things being fitted onto it. Then we're around on the other side, or it is up that way, they're doing it upside down. Okay, so again, more photo-etch for blade antennas and that, which is great for scale, things like that, tail wheel being fitted, and then we're actually into the hub assembly for the actual rotor, around this way. Okay, and then again, more various parts going into here, so I'm just wondering, because of the way that is, if you can fold the rotors on it. Be interesting if you could. But anyway, that's those ones being fitted in there like that. Got the tail, got the fuel tank, and then finally we do have the hub. So it says correct view of the main rotor hub. So it should be looking something else like that. The fuel tank's being fitted on, windscreen wipers, which again in photo-etch, and away you go. Okay, markings, as I said, nice with the sort of dark blue. Or as I said, we do have a couple of other options right in there. Everyone's favourite, stencil data, loads of stencil data on that one. And again, some of the other versions down in there as well. So again, nice colourful things and a few other bits and pieces that they've been up to. Right, okay, start off with, let's have a play in here. Because, right, okay, so that's where the photo-etch all went. So let's have a look at that. Again, funny sort of colour for it, but we'll go with that one. So as you can see, pretty nice detail with all of those. And again, 70-second scale, it's nice to get those little extra details like that in there. So that explains those. And we've got a few more on there as well on the back. All right, so again, nice little bit of extra detail in your kit. Okay, we've got the decals. Let's have a look at these ones first, I think. Actually, don't look too bad at all. Good register, good solid colours. And again, they're quite thin. The camera picks it up, but they're not thick decals. So, very nice indeed. And then we've got stencil data. Tiny, tiny stencil data. As you can imagine, some of this is duplicated because obviously for the high versions and the low vis versions, if you like, with the different colours down in here. So that's why you've got some in black and then some obviously in white, depending which version you're doing. Okay, as we've got it here, it has come off in the bag, unfortunately. We do have the clear parts, and I have to say that's pretty darn good. I know it's on the flat 70-second scale is always going to be a little bit wobbly and stuff like that, but really I don't think that's too bad. I think you can actually get away with that quite nicely, and then that would normally attach to the rest of it just down in here. So you got that side door and it's bulged as well, which is nice. Good job on that, and the entire door, so it's easy to mask these areas, and then for gluing in you've got nice little areas all around it, so that's pretty good all the way through. These little guys down in here for the sort of feet, no problem at all. Actually, that's pretty good stuff in there. So what we do is pop that in, and we're just going to pop those in just to keep all of that nice and safe. Okay, into the sprues. They're all quite small, so we've got a bag full of parts in here. So let's start with the fuselage half. As you see, we do it on one camera. Beautiful detail. So this is all recessed and raised details down in here, and you can probably see just how nice that is, and catching the riveting detail all in the side as she was. So that's actually very, very nice detail. Okay, can't see any sort of sink marks or any gnarly parts in there or anything else like that. Obviously in the inside there's nothing to see whatsoever. Obviously we've got some various things for opening up holes, but actually that's very nice indeed. And then we've got we do this one, we've got the sort of top part to this on sprue C, and again lovely recessed details. We've got obviously with the raised parts around it, but all the riveting is actually recessed. You can see under the belly here, very nicely done. The top, okay, the tail over here, all looks pretty darn good. The overhead panel, nicely detailed. Actually, that's pretty darn good, I must admit, for its scale. It's a little beauty. Okay, so rotors. Again, nice detail on these rotors. More than you think. Got a little bit of flash down on this edge. So obviously a little bit of a moulding flash on this corner, but the rest of it seems to be okay, maybe on this one as well. So you're going to need a little bit of clean up around the blades on this end of the mould, but generally that's pretty darn nice right over here on sprue D. We've got the nose, we've got those fuel tanks, we've got the various instrument panels. There's two types obviously around, because we've got two overheads and our two instrument panels as well. So, I'm just wondering, is that... Yeah, okay, so we've got one with raised detail and one is flat to enable you to put the decal to it. So that's a nice touch as well. Over on the blind side, as you can see, all very nice as well. That's pretty darn good. And some of the small parts. So as you can see, some nice moulded down here on sprue E. Pretty darn good. And again, the riveting detail is absolutely gorgeous. But we've got texture on the actual seats, on the cushions. Catch them in the light, you can see how it's moulded in. The rotor heads, things like that, all the gear, the small part, the wheels and hubs, all in one. Tail rotor system looks pretty good. I have to say, the detail is absolutely beautiful on this kit. There's a little bit of flash around, and you know, there's the odd little part that's, you know, perhaps got a little bit of a sink mark in it, but they are very, very small. Nothing that I think you'd actually worry about. And then you get down into here, and you can see how these tiny little parts, how cleanly moulded they are. That's actually very, very nice. Luckily, you can probably see it's all the sink marks are on the sprues around the edges. Lots of them everywhere. They haven't actually made it onto the parts themselves. So that's pretty nice indeed. There you go. That is actually, I have to say, It's one of these things, I don't know how they do it, but the sort of Eastern European countries like Ukraine and Poland and things like that, they knock out these 72nd scale kits with amazing riveting detail. You know, these give the AAA companies from the Far East definitely a run for their money, because that is very nice indeed. I don't think it's so small it's not going to work and you're going to paint over it and never see it again. It's still going to be there, so it's going to take a wash nice, it's going to work well with your weathering, or you could just go over it and have that visual effect with it as well. So there's nothing really to worry about on that one. So there we go, that is the absolutely beautiful 1/72 scale clear prop Seasprite UH-2 AB version.